Now come to another section within Unit 10, and it's kind of a continuation of the message of judgment against false prophets. In chapter 29, a chapter that's very popular in the world of popular theology, that is the so-called prosperity gospel. This passage in Jeremiah 11, "For I myself know the plans that I myself am planning concerning you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare," which is actually the term shalom, and not calamity, evil, to provide for you a future and a hope. And that terminology translated welfare is often translated prosperity, or God intends for their prosperity. But it really is the concept of shalom. I have plans for your well-being, the goodness of God being manifest in your lives rather than the evil, the calamity as described in that verse. Often quoted, but very much taken out of context. Most look over the context of this particular chapter, in that Jeremiah, of course, is speaking to the exiles. Now, this has happened as the passage is introduced to us in the backdrop of the exiles. As it says in chapter 29 at the beginning, it's a letter which Jeremiah the prophet sent from Jerusalem to the rest of the elders of the exile, to the priests, the prophets, all the people whom Nebuchadnezzar had taken into exile from Jerusalem to Babylon, while King Jeconiah, or Jehoiakim, and the queen mother, court officials, and others were taken from Jerusalem. And of course, in this letter, sent by the hand of Elasah, son of Shaphan, and Gemariah, the son of Hilkiah, whom King Zedekiah had sent to Babylon. They take this message from Jeremiah to the Babylonian exiles that had gone under Jehoiakim's exile, and says to all the exiles that I've sent, as God has put them into exile, build houses and live in them, plant gardens and eat their produce. He's telling them to live life normally, because yes, there is a future hope, but it's going to be quite distant out there in the future. And this is one of the two passages in Jeremiah that talk about the 70 years, in addition to the material back in chapters 25 and 26. So it's a message of future hope, but that future, for the most part, will be experienced by the next generation, or even the generation after that, because Jeremiah counsels them to build your houses, plant your fields, harvest the crops, go through the normal aspects of life, get married, have children. Your children are going to have children, because it's going to be 70 years. The history of Babylon is going to be approximately 70 years in length, from the time of the emergence of the Babylonian Empire. The kingdom of Nabopolassar and Nebuchadnezzar will last approximately 70 years, and only after the end of Babylon, which will, of course, we know happened under Cyrus of the Persian Empire, who conquers Babylon in 538 BC, and soon after allows the Israelites to return to the land. So get used to being into the land. Future hope, yes, and always remembering over against what is so dominant in our society. We want simple, rapid solutions to all of our problems, but the problem of Israel will be one of 70 years out there. And so in the context of that message, judgment and exile come first, but then comes restoration. And God has great plans for the future for His people, but they must wait for His divine plan to come to full fruition.